Unmasking the Legacy, 20 Shocking and Scandalous Facts about Colin Powell. Colin Powell, a celebrated military general and diplomat, left an indelible mark on American history. Known for his exceptional service in the Vietnam War, his role in shaping U.S. foreign policy, and his pivotal involvement in the Iraq War, Powell's legacy is multifaceted, encompassing both respect and controversy. This video explores some of the most shocking and scandalous facts surrounding Powell's life, career, and legacy, delving into his formative years, career-defining moments, and the controversies that made headlines. Fact number 1. Roots in youth, the foundation of an icon. Colin Luther Powell was born on April 5, 1937, in Harlem, New York, to Maud Ariel and Luther Theophilus Powell, both Jamaican immigrants who had come to the United States in search of a better life. His mother worked as a seamstress, while his father held jobs as a shipping clerk, both instilling in Powell a strong work ethic and deep respect for service. Raised in the South Bronx, Powell attended Morris High School, where he was an average student, often more interested in street life and hanging out. Despite his lack of academic achievement, his character and resilience were shaped by the vibrant, sometimes tough environment. Powell later said, "My early life taught me survival and self-discipline." At City College of New York, he discovered the Reserve Officers Training Corps, ROTC, which became a pivotal influence. Wearing the ROTC uniform, he felt a sense of purpose and pride he hadn't felt before. By 1958, he graduated with a degree in geology, earning a commission as a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army. In 1962, Powell married Alma Johnson, a dedicated educator, and together they raised 3 children: Linda, Michael, and Anne Marie. His family provided a grounding force through the many challenges of his career, particularly during his later controversial years. Powell's sense of duty and dedication, often quoted as hard work, plain and simple, stemmed from the lessons of his youth and the values his parents instilled. Number 2. From soldier to statesman, his rise in Vietnam. Powell's career gained momentum in Vietnam, where he served 2 combat tours. His leadership and bravery earned him respect, especially after he survived a helicopter crash and rescued 3 soldiers, earning the Soldier's Medal. However, his role in the My Lai massacre investigation in 1968 has cast a shadow over his legacy. Tasked with evaluating reports of the massacre, in which American soldiers killed over 300 Vietnamese civilians, Powell wrote a controversial report, stating, "Relations between American soldiers and the Vietnamese people are excellent." This report was later criticized for minimizing the atrocities, sparking debate over his judgment. Powell later acknowledged the tragedy of My Lai, admitting, "I wish I could have done more." This experience in Vietnam shaped his cautious approach to military power in later years. Number 3. Powell Doctrine, bold or overcautious? The Powell Doctrine, formed during Powell's tenure as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, advocated using decisive force only when American national interests were at stake and when a clear exit strategy was in place. This doctrine reflected his Vietnam experience, emphasizing that military engagement should be last but overwhelming. Critics saw Powell as overly cautious, especially during the Gulf War, when he advised against swift intervention without a comprehensive plan. George H.W. Bush and Secretary of Defense Dick Cheney at times saw Powell's stance as limiting their options. However, the doctrine left a lasting legacy, framing U.S. military strategy and sparking debates about intervention, most notably during the conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. Number 4. Gulf War hero or media manipulator? Powell's calm demeanor and strategic prowess made him a media sensation during the 1991 Gulf War. As chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, he frequently briefed the press, emphasizing coalition success and keeping details of challenges vague. While his transparency earned him widespread admiration, some journalists accused Powell of selling the war to the American public. His media strategy sparked questions about public manipulation and whether he used selective information to build support. Powell later defended his approach, stating that public trust is crucial, but some things remain confidential in wartime, which highlights his balancing act between transparency and maintaining morale. Number 5. 2003 Iraq War Speech, a tarnished legacy. One of the most contentious moments of Powell's career was his 2003 speech to the United Nations, where he presented what was purported to be evidence of Iraq's possession of weapons of mass destruction, WMDs. The speech, which included satellite images, alleged intercepts, and detailed intelligence, was instrumental in securing both public and international support for the U.S. invasion of Iraq. Powell's authority lent credibility to the claims, yet when no WMDs were found, his reputation suffered immensely. In a 2005 interview, Powell described the speech as a blot on his record, admitting that he had been provided with flawed intelligence. He reflected, "It was painful. I will always regret that the information was wrong." Despite his later criticisms of the intelligence, many have continued to view the speech as a low point in Powell's otherwise celebrated career, marking him as a key figure in a divisive and protracted conflict. Number 6. Public feud with Donald Trump. After years of prominence within the Republican Party, Powell's political stance shifted sharply during Donald Trump's presidency. Powell became an outspoken critic, condemning Trump's handling of racial issues, foreign policy, and the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2016, Powell referred to Trump as a national disgrace and later accused him of poisoning our democracy. Powell's public rebuke of Trump polarized opinion. Trump supporters labeled him a rhino, Republican in name only, while Trump himself responded with scorn, calling Powell overrated. Despite the backlash, Powell remained vocal, emphasizing that principles matter more than party loyalty. This feud with Trump highlighted Powell's evolution from a staunch Republican to an independent thinker, reflecting his disapproval of the party's transformation. Number 7. Resignation and post-war reflections. Powell's resignation as Secretary of State in 2004, following George W. Bush's re-election, surprised many. While Powell described his departure as voluntary, insiders suggested he faced pressure due to his discontent with the administration's policies, particularly in Iraq. In interviews following his resignation, Powell expressed regret over the war, stating, "It was painful. I think we made some mistakes." Reflecting on his involvement, Powell remained critical of the decision-making processes, signaling his belief that the U.S. could have taken a different approach in Iraq. Number 8. A surprising endorsement, backing Obama. Powell stunned the political world in 2008 by endorsing Democratic candidate Barack Obama. Known as a lifelong Republican, Powell's support for Obama attracted criticism from conservative circles, with some accusing him of betrayal. Powell, however, saw Obama as a unifying figure, stating, "I think he is a transformational figure." He publicly expressed a desire for inclusivity and change, emphasizing that his choice was based on character, not party lines. Powell's endorsement revealed his increasing disillusionment with the GOP and marked his evolution into a more independent political stance. Number 9. Reaction to allegations of wiretapping UN officials. In 2003, reports suggested that the U.S. had wiretapped UN officials to secure support for the Iraq invasion. Although Powell remained officially silent, sources close to him indicated his deep frustration, as he felt such tactics compromised U.S. credibility. Powell believed diplomacy should build trust, not surveillance, and was reportedly furious at the administration's methods. This incident highlighted the ethical conflicts Powell faced within the White House, illuminating the strain between his diplomatic principles and the administration's aggressive policies. Number 10. Health battles and resilience. Powell faced several health challenges, including a diagnosis of prostate cancer in 2003. Despite these struggles, he maintained an active public life, balancing health and duty. Powell's resilience and commitment to public service defined his later years, even as he dealt with Parkinson's disease and myeloma, a blood cancer affecting his immune system. He remained active in his final months, offering speeches and advice until his death on October 18, 2021, from complications of COVID-19. Powell's resilience, both physical and moral, became a symbol of his character, reflecting his lifelong dedication to duty despite personal adversity.